Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing another review for The Death of Superman and the Reign of the Supermen from the DC animated universe. I've read the book called The Death and Life of Superman, which this is all based on. For the most part, these are good movies. Objectively, I will give them 4 out of 5 both. Actually, 4 out of 5 for Death, and 3.5 out of 5 for Reign, because Reign it had less appealing writing. Oh, excuse me. And there was just a little bit too much campiness in it that seemed inappropriate for certain times. The death of Superman, Doomsday, and Darkseid and whatnot didn't float with me. Those first two reviews were my objective. Subjective, I am a fan of the DC animated universe, so I will give them both 4.5 out of 5s. The things that I subjectively find wrong with them are because they were not as faithful to the story as they should have been. First off, this was not New 52 era. They should have had Superman in his normal outfit with the red trousers. Second off, they basically made Doomsday a Kryptonian with his frickin' heat vision. In the original story, Doomsday had no origin. He had no heat vision. He was just a brutal killing machine. Secondly, it wasn't those members of the Justice League that were fighting him. It was members that you barely heard of. Guy Gardner, Bertha, not Wonder Woman, but Bertha. I can't remember her her superhero name, but she was basically a warrior from another planet, not an Amazon. And a few others. Batman only showed up in the story one time, and that was when a person with a bomb was going to set it off at Superman's funeral after he had already fallen against Doomsday. This Doomsday, I wish they didn't go the Tarkatan route from Mortal Kombat with the arm spikes. It's like, come on now, that's lazy. The way that these two went out was they both hit each other in the sweet spot as hard as they could. At least they kept it accurate to it took Lois being in direct peril for Superman to go after or to unleash completely on Doomsday. Now, the fighting was very brutal, which it needed to be. It needs to be brutal in this case because Doomsday was very brutal. He was an indiscriminate killer. He almost killed a baby in the book, in the comics, because the baby was crying and Doomsday would kill anything. It didn't matter if the baby was crying or not. If it was alive, he would kill it. He only said one word, and he couldn't even pronounce it right. Metropolis. He says Metropolis. That was something. It was from a commercial and whatnot. Superman joined the fight fairly early on in the book, in the story, the original story. In this one, he joins it late, and also it's a battle between just him and Doomsday, and it's like, no, even Supergirl got her hands on this and went after Doomsday. But Supergirl was nowhere to be seen in this. Lex Luthor was in this, but they changed the story, understandably, because it's the DC animated universe. They already had pre-existing stories and whatnot. But still, they could have done it a tad bit more. I'm guessing they did it as accurately as they could. It just felt wrong to me in certain areas, especially in the second one where they're bringing in Darkseid. It wasn't Darkseid that was solely responsible for all of this stuff. They actually destroyed Coast City, which is Hal Jordan's city. And Superboy was older. He was more of an older teen, like 16, 17 years old. Not like 14 or 15. And it's like, come on now. He also came across as a little too showboaty, where he did care about the publicity and stuff in the book, but when things got serious, and I do mean deadly serious, he stepped up in a more... He also didn't have the same power set as Superman. That's another thing that bothered me. He didn't have heat vision, and he actually did have psychokinetic powers. So that's something that bothered me. The Eradicator. I think they did a decent job with him. Cyborg Superman, they kept it good, Hank Henshaw. But Dabney Donovan and the DNA aliens were not under Lex's employ in the story. In the story, in the original story, Dabney Donovan's dead or missing. Cadmus already had a DNA alien out there. I can't remember his name. I like how they brought back Bibbo, because him being a friend of Superman and stuff, that was an integral part of the story. Now, Ma and Pa Kent were done very well by Paul Lighting and Jennifer Hale. I do like the cast of voices that they have. Jerry O'Connell for Superman. Jason O'Mara for Batman. Jason O'Mara actually does a pretty good Batman. Shamar Moore as Cyborg was pretty cool. It's like, I recognize the voice, I just can't put it. Then I'm like, wait. When he said one word was when I recognized his voice, when he said recovered, because I heard that voice say that word so many times in Criminal Minds. And I'm like, oh, that's Shamar Moore. But yeah, I thought they had a good casting overall. I did not like how in the end of the second one, Lex comes into the Watchtower calling them all team, and it's like, no. That was bad. That was bad writing. Yes, Lex played a little bit of a good guy, but he wasn't like that in the book. He was the bad guy, and he played the good guy, but he was the bad guy. I do like how they did a call out with the red hair and beard and in the book, he wasn't even Lex Luthor. He was actually, well, he was, but he was pretending to be Lex Luthor II, which was his supposed son, because his original body died and he was a clone. But anyway, that's overall, I give this high marks for the most part. Collectively, I will give it a 3.8 out of 10, both Death and Reign, as a complete series. It will be 3.8 out of 5, because it could have been better, but that's bias, or that's my bias review. Objectively, I will give it, both of them, a solid 4.0 out of 5. Anyway, that's the video. Hope you guys like this video. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. This has been Orange Hat Reviews, and I'll catch you all in the next one.